Whoa. Hey. Hey everyone, it's Granny giving you guys a pretty special video. So recently I decided to sit back and watch the entire Saw franchise because, it's been referenced to me a lot, throughout my entire life. So I got curious and, I had nothing else to do. And it's the beginning of summer break, so I decided why not. And it was a pretty good watch. However, there were a few movies that were a bit lackluster than the other ones, so I decided to why not make a tier list video where I talk about the best and the worst Saw movies because, I have no life. With that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Saw 1. A great start to the franchise. Not only do I like this movie because the ending is so hype, this is one of the few times you actually care about the characters that are in the trap, because although I don't want to go ahead and start off with things that I'm going to mention later on in this video, the characters that are in the Saw traps later on in the movies, they have nothing to them really. They're kind of boring and it's sort of like, why should I care? But I don't know what it is about Lawrence or Dr. Gordon and Adam. It's just something about them. It's like I cared more about them than the side plot, which usually in the later Saw movies, I cared more about the side plot than the people in the traps. And it was constant twist after twist. And a movie that has a lot of plot twist usually can get boring after a little while. It's like, whatever, same old, same old. But no, it still felt fresh. And even though it was twist after twist, none of them were ever confusing, which I like, because there are times where there's a little too much going on in a movie that my brain is sort of, blank after a little bit. And the major plot twist in the end, it's actually known as the best plot twist in a movie. And I can agree, it was a very hype moment, especially when the music kicked in. Anytime you're watching a Saw movie and the music kicks in, you know that it's about to go hard. So Saw 1, I'm gonna go ahead and give that baby an S tier. I know this is the first one, but trust me, it does go from best to worst, so. Saw 2. Well, I only reviewed the first Saw movie so far, and it's already taken me a week to film the rest, so this project's doing great. I like what was going on in this movie. It's just Eric Matthews was low-key not a likable character. All he had to do from the beginning was sit down and listen to John, which of course he didn't do, which led to his unfortunate demise. And I like when they have a group of people all in one trap. I like how they all sort of just turn against each other at certain points. And to be honest, I don't have a lot to say about this movie really. That's pretty much it. Which I know there's little details I explained, but that doesn't mean that I didn't like it. Although over the years you might see some flaws, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in B tier. Saw 3. This contained characters that I just did not care about. I mean, there was a twist that the guy in the beginning of the film wasn't the main character's actual husband, which was done okay. Thankfully, there's later Saw movies that explain it in more depth, because other than that, Amanda is the most annoying character that walked the earth. I've seen some reactions to Saw 3, and this is definitely one of the films that, just didn't get that much of a reaction out of people. Even me, I didn't think this movie contained a lot, especially since the guy that was the main character's real husband that was going through the traps, he just wasn't a likable character at all. I just didn't care for him whatsoever. I have never heard someone say that Saw 3 was their favorite of the franchise, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in C tier. Saw 4? Honestly, probably my least favorite Saw movie. I just wasn't interested whatsoever. No matter what, the characters were fine, but also, Hoffman being revealed to be Jigsaw's accomplice, it wasn't built up enough, so you kind of had to watch Saw 5 and the rest to fully understand, because otherwise I remember watching the ending to Saw 4 and being slightly confused, and it made me not want to watch the rest because I didn't really know what was going on with the story, so therefore I didn't really want to continue. But when I did, I was like, oh, they go more in depth with it. But really, this movie didn't contain much really, so I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to give this movie a D tier. Saw 5. This one was okay. My only complaint is because it does have a really cool ending, but he didn't say game over at the end, which if you watch the Saw movies, that's what they're known for. It's a classic game over. Game over.
Game over.
Game over.
Game over.
Game over.
But yeah, Saw 5, that wasn't the case. It was just the walls closing and then just ends. Really surprising twist by the end. It does kind of hurt seeing Strahm being falsely accused towards the end. But because of that sick ending, honestly, it's right up there with a Saw 1. I'm gonna go ahead and give it, I'll give it an A tier. Saw 6. I honestly don't remember a lot from Saw 6, but I do remember they really did a good job with the suspense of everyone finding out that Hoffman was Jigsaw's accomplice. This had a cool ending as well. I hate that Saw 6 gets like a bad rep. It's like not that bad at all. And I know this is like opinion wise, but like if you like prefer Saw 4 over Saw 6, there's something wrong with you. So let's go ahead and put Saw 6 in A tier. Saw 7. Okay, so with Saw 7, with this being like a 7-year wait between this movie and Jigsaw, if I was watching around that time, I definitely would not have been satisfied, because although Hoffman does end up suffering the consequences, I said that's so weird, and it was good to see Dr. Gordon come back. However, I like that he's the one to say game over at the end, because it starts with Gordon and it ends with Gordon. So that's what I like about this movie. That's pretty much all I like. Oh, there is a trap at the beginning where it's like a public view. Honestly, that's probably my favorite trap of the entire franchise. Also, I didn't really receive the hype that it originally had, because this was a 3D movie. I didn't have any spare 3D glasses on me, which is unfortunate. I wanted to make it seem like blood was squirting on my face. Saw 7, it didn't really do a whole lot for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that in C tier as well. Yo, so my phone decided to be a racist and stop recording, so I'm tired of using the tripod, so yeah. But yeah, that will conclude this 2-week project. If you haven't seen the Saw series yet, I highly recommend to go watch it. I am gonna do separate videos on Jigsaw and Spiral, even though I heard those are pretty bad. And best believe I'm gonna go check out Saw X this October. So yeah, that's about pretty much it for this video. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.